All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome out to Speed Racing Network, where we present the Xfinity Series week number 7. This is the City of Angels 150 here at Auto Club Speedway. We got 75 laps tonight. We are going to get this thing done. Nice big track with a lot of room out there to play with. So I know last night we had a lot of really good green flag racing in the beginning of the race. So hopefully we can get the same thing here tonight. My name is Sean Griffith. I'm one of the broadcasters here, as well as we'll have Justin Boyles stopping by here very momentarily to co-broadcast with me. But it is going to be a great week. We are more than halfway through the regular season after this race, and so now all of these races are going to become more and more important as we get towards that cutoff. We've got 13 weeks of regular season, and then we cut it down to the top 15 drivers. And so each driver does get 3 drop weeks, which is very helpful. If you have a bad race, you get to kind of throw that race out. So we are going to find the best 15 drivers, and then we are going to take them to the playoffs, and we're going to figure out who is going to win this whole dang thing. And again, the playoffs is 7 weeks long. So again, we've still got plenty of time left in this season. But this is fixed setups. We are in the Xfinity cars here tonight. The Xfinity cars are, some people don't like them, some people love them. It's a driver's car, and it's one of those cars that you really have to be able to wheel. And so sometimes the Cup Series cars, I'm not going to say they're easy, but they kind of help out a little bit. They're a little bit more stable than these cars. So a lot of times these Xfinity cars are a little bit more difficult to control, especially as the tires get older and older. So be on the lookout for that. If you do get into any trouble out there, you do have one fast repair tonight. So one fast repair to come on into the pits, get a brand new car, and get right back out there. Have a feeling that with some of the bumping that's going to be going on out there tonight, I think we're going to be using some of those fast repairs at some point. So each of these drivers pay $10 a week to get in, and that $10 a week gets you the opportunity for weekly prizes as well as that season-long prize, $500 first place for the league. We'll talk about the rest of it a little bit later, but we also do have something a little bit unique in this league. We do have 5-person teams, and we do have a team championship at the end of the season. That's $200. So if you have 5 guys on the team, split that $200 up. You each get $40 just for being the best team out there. You don't even have to be in the playoffs to win that thing. So it's really a fun league, really one of those leagues that, in my opinion, is very well put together. Jason Tripp has done an excellent job of this. Adam Pettit, our race administrator here in the Xfinity League, has done an incredible job here as well. So we appreciate all of their efforts. This week, first place is going to get $50, and they're going to get an entry into the Cup Series race, which is this Sunday right back here at Auto Club. So if you can prove yourself here, then you can move up, and you can be racing for even more money when we get to Sunday night. So be on the lookout for that. Second place will get $30, third place $20, fourth place gets $15, fifth and sixth place get $10 a piece. So definitely some good money sitting out there for the taking. All you got to do is get out there and stay clean, really. But for the season-long payouts, this is the big one. $500 for first place, $300 for second, $200 for third, $150 for fourth, and then $100 for fifth place. So if you make that final 5, you're making your money. So, and then of course that team championship, which we talked about just a little bit earlier. So again, a lot of money on the line in this league overall. Last season, we gave out over $5,000 in the one league that we did. In this series of leagues, we have a truck league, an Xfinity league, and a Cup Series league. We are planning on giving out over $15,000 this season. So, and in a 20-week season, I mean, that's incredible. And then right after this season, we're planning on starting it right back up and doing another 20-week season right after this. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you are not driving with us tonight, come on back with us next season and get back into this thing. It is a blast to be out there on the track. Not only do we have the cash prizes, though, but if you're just the cleanest driver in the league, the guy that doesn't cause any trouble out there on the track, you're going to get a free butt kicker. And if you don't know what a butt kicker is, it attaches to your racing chair, seat, rig, whatever you want to call it, and it uses sound to basically vibrate mimic being inside the car itself. So as you're driving, you can feel the bumps on the road. You can feel every single turn. If those tires start to slip out from underneath you, you can feel that with that butt kicker. So really a great product. If you have friends or family that are out there on the track and they don't have a butt kicker, it is a great gift for them. So definitely you can either earn that by racing, or if you just want to use our discount code, it is SRNVS20 for 20% off your regularly priced order. So definitely go and check out Butt Kicker. They've got a lot of great products there, and we appreciate their sponsorship. So next up, we got Kane Cook, who is known as the Hard Charger. Now, Kane is in the highest series in iRacing. He's in the Coca-Cola series, and so he is racing with the big boys. They are racing for $330,000 this season. So, you know, we're sitting here bragging about $15,000 that we're giving out over the course of 3 leagues. They are in one league giving out $330,000, and this guy is known for one thing, and that is starting in the back, working his way to the front. It's called the Hard Charger, and so every single race you get a trophy if you are the Hard Charger, a virtual trophy obviously, but this guy has more Hard Charger awards than literally anyone on the entire iRacing platform. Tens of thousands of drivers. This guy is the best of the best at doing it. So if you want to be better at iRacing, especially if you want to learn how to go up through the pack cleanly, then get onto speedracingnetwork.com, book some time with Kane Cook. He is absolutely incredible. Everybody that we've talked to that has done this has enjoyed their time with him, has enjoyed iRacing a little bit more. And let's face it, that's what we're all here to do. This is a hobby. For some of us, it's a way of life. For some of us, it's just a game. Whatever it is, you always want to be better. And so this guy can make you better. So definitely take a look at Kane Cook Sim Coaching on speedracingnetwork.com and see if you can't learn how to work your way back through the pack a little bit better. All right, let's talk about the individual rankings right now. Zach Taylor has been up front literally the entire season, so he won that very first race, and he has not looked back. He's got 2 wins under his belt, and he is leading the points by 11 points over Greg Joyner. Now, that's a pretty tight little race there, and you can see right underneath them, Ryan Ducombe and Bo Tiffany tied for third with 174 points. So a lot of drivers in this top echelon here that are really, really tight, and you'll see how close the cut line is. A couple things I want to point out here. Look at the team names. You have Tank Racing with 4 drivers in this top 15. You have Bronco Motorsports with 4 drivers in this top 15. You have H2K Motorsports with 3 drivers in this top 15. That team driving is really, really helping, and you'll see a few of the guys that are in the bottom cut that will work their way up. But right now we're joined by Justin Boyles. Hey, Justin, how's it going, brother?
Man, it's going. How are you, buddy?
Man, it is fantastic. We are out here at Auto Club just having a great time. Man, we got 75 laps to figure this whole thing out. What do you know about this place?
Well, it's really fast, and it's really wide, but those corners can really narrow up. There's not a whole lot of grooves you can run, and especially to maximize, corner exit is going to be the big key because you've got these really, really long straightaways. So the key is to carry as much speed down these as you can. And Sean, you can see these guys get 3, 4, 5 wide at times possibly on some of these restarts, and you got to get it sorted out before you get to these straightaways. And also that back straightaway is really bumpy, so you got to be careful when you get up somebody's bumper to make sure you don't shake them loose and spin them around.
Yeah, it is a wide track, and that's why we're hoping to see a lot of green flag racing here tonight. It's not like these little narrow tracks where there's just nowhere to go. This is one of those places where if you want to go high, go high. If you want to go low, go low. If you want that middle lane, it is wide open for you.
Yeah, and, everybody's going to be battling over the same real estate. You got to give each other room. You've got to be smart. And if these guys can do that, and I think they can, they've showed the ability to do that, earlier this season or throughout the early portion of this season. You can really see some great racing here, but it's just going to be make sure that these guys can be able to stay off of each other and keep control of the car. I've seen some guys getting loose here in practice off of 4 especially, so that could be a danger spot.
Yes, it can. Now, we got these guys that are in the top 15 right now. Let's take a look at the bottom side of the list here. You can see we talked about Bronco Motorsports having 4 guys up in the top 15. Well, their 5th guy is right there on the cut line as well. So you might have a possibility here of having all 5 Bronco Motorsports up in the playoffs. But you can see some names on this list, Justin, that really, really should be in that top 15.
Yeah, and going back to the Bronco Motorsports possibly getting all 5 guys in, obviously it's a long way to go, but just the fact that they've been able to put themselves in this spot at this point in the season is huge. But I think the biggest name that sticks out for me is the guy sitting in 17th. That's Daniel Bowdler. I really tabbed him as a championship favorite early on in this season. Hasn't quite worked out that way for him yet. Plenty of time to go, and all you got to do is get in that top 15. And once you're in these playoffs, we know that anything can happen.
Yeah, if I had to call out, definitely Daniel Bowdler, and I really do think that he deserves to be up there in that top 15. But if I had to call out somebody that is kind of a dark horse, somebody that really is kind of on that fence of getting in and being out, I think that Greg Olenek there in 21st has a real shot at making some waves, even though he's 35 points back.
Yeah, when you said dark horse, that was the first name that popped out to me as well, Sean, actually. Greg has really figured things out as of late. He's had some great runs, and if he can keep it up, we're not even looking at drop weeks right now. That's going to shake things up. You can only get as good of a picture, without it right now. But man, that's a great pick, and I think if he can get in the playoffs, he's definitely a threat.
Yes, he is. Now, and on top of this individual stuff, we do have the team championship standings, and Tank Racing right now up front on the back of Zach Taylor's 2 wins. But take a look at second place, only 1 point behind is Bronco Motorsports, and they don't even have a win yet this season.
Yeah, it just goes to show that, each team's top runner may not be able to decide it for them. Like we talked about it before, Bronco's got 5 guys who are either in the playoffs or right there on the brink of being in the playoffs. So, that consistency is showing up, and it's got them right there, just filling up the rearview mirror of the Tank Racing guys.
Yeah, and those standings brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better. And we'll also jump into the team introductions. Again, sponsored by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Go out to your nearest Tropical Smoothie. Try the Beach Bum. Ask for the Beach Bum with white chocolate. It is absolutely life-changing. It is delicious. But let's talk about Tank Racing. And they've got 5 drivers on this team. Again, 4 of them are already up in that top 15, so they're inside the cut right now. The only one that's not is Derek Da Silva, and he's got a real shot to be up there too.
Yeah, and the one that sticks out is the guy who's got 2 win stickers right there next to his name, Zach Taylor. Early on this season, he's shown to be, really in many ways the class of the field. I think his gap that he had on everybody else has kind of closed up over the last few weeks, but this is 5 guys who really can just be a threat week in and week out. And you get all 5 of these guys, in the playoffs, that could be dangerous for the rest of this field.
Yeah, just to kind of put it out there, so Devin Zimmerman was one of our finalists last season in the Mid-South Madness League. Mike Lepicki was runner-up in the Mid-South Madness League Season 1. Zach Taylor with 2 wins. Emerson Ardon, a great driver himself. Derek Da Silva, again, has that opportunity to move up if he can just kind of get around some of the incidents that are in front of him. So all 5 guys, absolutely awesome. But take a look at Bronco Motorsports, again, nipping at those heels, 1 point back. What do you see from this team, Justin?
Just a whole lot of consistency, man. These guys have good runs week in and week out, and there's not a bad name on that team. You a lot of times you look at teams, you kind of point out the weak link. That doesn't really exist for this team. If these guys can continue to stay coordinated, they continue to get all these sponsors that I wish I could get some of, man, they're going to be in good shape. They've got all the funding in the world, right? These guys are hooking up all the sponsors, Sandwich Man Racing. These guys are really hooked up. So, yeah, man, this is a great team, and I think this team has 5 true championship threats.
Yeah, and those viewers out there that really don't watch all that often, you kind of don't understand yet. This is a real deal. These guys go out and they went to Sandwich Man, they went to Shoney's and got a sponsorship from Shoney's. People are actually getting sponsorships for what amounts to a simulation on a computer.
Yeah, but just like in real life, it's a moving billboard, and all the viewers here, they check it out. We plug the sponsors on the broadcast, and Bronco plugs their sponsors by putting them on the hood of the cars that they keep putting out front. So, it turns out to be a good deal for them and for the guys sponsoring them.
Definitely. Now, next up, we got H2K Motorsports, and this is one of those teams, and again, we said that they had 3 guys in the top 15 currently, but they've got a couple of really young, talented drivers in Jovi Sagiped and Ryan Ducombe that are leading the way for them.
Yeah, and, Ryan Ducombe, he's got that win sticker next to his name, and if you had told me we'd be at this point in the season and Jovi Sagiped would not have one, I'd have told you I was surprised. He's been one of my favorites to watch. He shows up with great speed every week. And then you look, below him, Troy Techmeyer, Josh Marcy, and Dustin Scruggs. Those are names that we see out front week in and week out. Right now on the board, Josh Marcy and Ryan Ducombe are 3 and 4 in qualifying. So, this is a team that could show some serious speed tonight.
Yes, they are. Now, Rev Racing, this is the one series that Rev Racing really isn't right towards the top of the board, either first or second place. And so they've had their struggles this season, but they've made a couple of driver swaps. They've got Greg Olenek in there. They've got a win with Marshall Stanley. Aaron Gerwitz, always consistent. A new driver, Brad Davis, jumping in. So I think he's going to be a really good addition there. And Joshua Siegfried is also kind of a newer driver as well. So, Rev Racing, they're making some shifts, but they're getting it together.
Yeah, when you bounce around team members like that, it can make it hard to get that consistent product on the track every week, and really make it difficult to make a run at the team standings. But you pointed out Aaron Gerwitz, Marshall Stanley. These are 2 guys that have been staples in this league and in Mid-South Madness before. Marshall Stanley, of course, got that win a couple weeks ago at the road course, which we expected. Aaron Gerwitz runs towards the front every week, and right now he's showing up in top 10 in qualifying. Joshua Siegfried, he's a little bit of a mystery to me. I haven't gotten to see him a whole lot. Maybe get to learn some about him tonight. And we already pointed out Greg Olenek. He's super fast every week, and he's right there on the cusp of making the playoffs, and I expect him to be in that top 15 by the end of the season.
Oh, definitely. 100% agree with you on that one. Team SRN, the factory team, the home team, and these guys have had their struggles this season also, but they've got some good talent here. Danny Dow was actually one of our champions, so he actually won our Mid-South Madness Season 1 championship, so he knows how to win. Bo Tiffany has been up front all season long. Got 3 other guys that have kind of been mid-pack so far this season, but they're looking to break out.
Well, Sean, this team and the 2 next teams you're going to talk about all have one thing in common, and that's David Duke as their team owner. And so I'm calling these 3 teams the David Duke disappointment train. And, it's really, you look at all the talent on these 3 teams, Sean, and the product, the product on track has not been there yet, and it doesn't make any sense. Because this team, Bo Tiffany, Danny Dow, Daniel Keith Jr., all 3 guys I've gotten a ton of time on track with. I've raced a lot with Stan Hausman and Wayne Rayborn as well. I know these guys are talented, so I haven't really been able to quite piece it together why they haven't, been able to perform better. It could turn it all around tonight. You never know. We'll see.
They just need that one breakout win, I think, and they'll be there. But R2D2, another team that's owned by David Duke or managed by David Duke, is up there. Jay Graves, one of the most consistent drivers we've seen in a while.
Yeah, and you see a couple guys on this list that jump out to me, and that's Jay Graves and Michael Amenti. These are 2 guys that I've gotten to watch a ton of and race with a little bit. The rest of this team, we've seen them around the front, and really all 5 of these guys, we've seen them around the front, but just something happens to them, really after the midway point every week that just kind of, really stunts their ability to get good finishes. So much like Team SRN, they're going to be looking to turn it around.
Yep, and finally we have R&D Motorsports. They're kind of bringing up the rear right now, but again, they do have an opportunity to move up, and they do have a couple of guys on here that can do that, including kind of our not dark horse pick, but somebody should be in the top 15, Daniel Baldler.
Yeah, and not only am I surprised this team is at the very bottom of the standings, but I'm surprised this team is not at or very near the top of the standings, Sean. Daniel Baldler, Eric Hawk, Curtis Young, those are 3 guys that I really thought would all 3 possibly have wins by now, and it just hasn't quite come together. However, We saw Eric Hawk and Curtis Young both ran well here in the preseason, if I remember correctly. So this could be a night they could turn it around. Daniel Bowler right now is sitting on the pole. I mean, this team really could turn things around, and it's not too late to make a charge at that team championship. All it's going to take is 3 or 4 consistent runs, and next thing you know, you're right there in the picture.
Definitely. Now, we do have a lot of independent drivers in the race tonight. We do have Chris Massey coming down from the Cup Series, Landon Lacey as well, Dean Brummett as well, David Duke as well. So all these guys coming down from the Xfinity Series. We got a couple guys from the Truck Series, but we also have a new driver, Tyler Markle, new to the league this week, and then Robert Montgomery also. He was new to the league last week. So got a lot of independents, but we've got one more driver out there that has won 3 in a row in the Truck Series, and he is back here again trying to make a splash in the Xfinity Series.
Corey Saucier has all the speed in the world in the trucks, and I don't see why they can't translate here tonight. The only thing that I hated to see last night was they didn't get to finish that out under green, because he was throwing some Joey Logano blocks if I've ever seen them. And he kept himself out front when the caution came out. So hopefully we can finish this thing under green. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that number 24 Exalta car up towards the front.
Well, let's get out there on the track. We've got qualifying all finished up, ready to go. Daniel Bodler out front for R&D Motorsports on the pole. And then Corey Saucier himself, the Truck Series winner, again, trying to make that splash here in the Xfinity Series in second.
Yeah, and we talked about Josh Marcy and Ryan Ducom already sitting in 3rd and 4th. Zach Taylor, he's in 5th. Landon Lacey, one of the independents, in 6th. Dean Brummett, Aaron Gerwitz, Devin Zimmerman, and Danny Dow all round out the top 10. And then you got Michael Pickey for Tank Racing and Jordan Sailors, who's an independent, my teammate in the Cup Series. He's sitting there in 12th, and I'm pulling for him big time. I hope he can have a good run tonight.
Yeah, a lot of guys need a good run tonight. I will tell you there has been some internet issues going on all across the country that relates to iRacing and Comcast. So hopefully a lot of these guys out here tonight have some better luck than we had last night, where we dropped, I think it was 8 drivers that dropped out of the race due to internet issues.
Yeah, it's a tough deal because it's not a lot you can do, as a league. I mean, I ran into it last week. Some of our guys in another league I run in all dropped out. They wound up picking me up about 7 spots, so I really wasn't complaining. But, it's really nothing you can do. One guy in the Discord said it, you kind of got to treat it as if it was a simulating mechanical failure, and you don't want them to simulate that, but it is what it is, and it's part of it. So hopefully we can have good luck tonight, and all these guys can race this thing out and don't have any interference with the connection.
Yeah, and everybody that watched the race last night also saw a ton of fog out here on Auto Club Speedway. That fog has apparently lifted. It is a clear day out there, so we might actually be able to see the cars this time around.
That's right. Although, Sean, in California, I think it's smog, right? It's a different thing.
Oh, yeah. It's that's what they were telling me last night, was that it was probably a fire somewhere nearby.
Well, yeah, that could be true, too, but man, it's a good thing we can see these cars, because there is a lot of good-looking race cars on track tonight. And, man, you got Daniel Bowler, Corey Saucier right there, 1-2 to kick this thing off. This is going to be a great show. I'm excited for it, Sean. I know you are as well. I'm glad to be back in the booth. I missed last week, but I'm back. I'm ready to get this thing started. This is going to be a great race.
Well, man, who do you got? Tell you what, we'll get back to it here in a second. We're going to get this race started. Daniel Bowler has the start, and the green flag is out.
It's going to be one of the guys in one of those virtual race cars, I guarantee it.
Whoever crosses that finish line first.
That's right. Daniel Bowler got a great jump, and you're going to see he jumps up to that top line all the way up near that wall to get a good arc in. That's going to help him save tires. The only thing is you got to look for somebody getting a run on the bottom and kind of sticking the nose in there. It's really easy to turn yourself around if you don't expect that car to be there. But I told you, these guys are going to fan out big time. We got some 3 and 4 wide all the way back coming off of turn 2, Sean.
Yeah, you have all sorts of stuff going on. Oh, and look at that Wonder Bread car. That is Dean Brummett. He is going full Ricky Bobby on us tonight.
That's right. He broke it out. He'd see if he can take that thing to the front. Hopefully that's not the car that he was only going 25 mile an hour in, though, Sean. You see the crossover there by that's Zach Taylor and that number 14 machine, and that's going to be an option for a lot of these guys. The question is, though, can he get it to stick as they head down into turn number 1?
Yeah, Zach Taylor and Dean Brummett had some great battles last week, and Dean Brummett ended up winning that race. But Zach Taylor not only wants revenge on that, but he wants to solidify his spot in first place in the points.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that he's even being challenged right now, but that is the case. You see him all over the back bumper. Throws a big block on Dean Brummett. He was all over the back bumper there, that number 35 machine. And I told you that it's real bumpy. It's really, really easy to get somebody turned sideways on that backstretch when you get up under them like that.
Yeah, and if we can get through about 10 laps of all this fanning out and everything, usually these cars spread out really, really well, and it becomes a nice long green flag run.
Yeah, and the more you wear your tires, the harder it is to pass. Landon Lacey just ran the fastest lap on track. He's sitting there in third place right now, Sean. To see if he can get up here and challenge Corey Saucier and Daniel Ballard. He's going to get a great run off of turn number 2, and he's going to get to the inside of Corey Saucier, I do believe.
Yes, he is, and let's see if he can make it stick on that bottom side. And I think he's going to do that. So I think he is going to take that second position easily, and now he's going to try to start tracking down Daniel Ballard.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. You want to keep Daniel Ballard in your sights, but you don't want to use your stuff up going to get him. I've seen Daniel Ballard be able to run away with some of these, and you almost sit behind him and you're thinking, man, how is he not burning this stuff up? But it's just one of those talents that Daniel Ballard has. But it looks like Landon Lacey's going to close that gap. He may be able to get to him here before they get down into 3.
Well, Ballard has always wanted to lead the race and stay out of trouble by leading the race. So the safest place to be on the track is up front, so away from everybody else, basically. But he's always wanted that. But at the same time, I think if Landon puts too much pressure on him, that Daniel might just let him right by so he saves his tires.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 because if you're out front, you've got all that extra downforce on the nose of the car. That's really going to help your front tires, especially that right front that is just so notorious for wearing out, because that's the tire that you're loading up in the corner. So, it's a catch-22. Do you want to be out front and get all that clean air and that downforce, or do you want to just let the guy go and not race him too hard? Oh, man, Dean Brummett really almost slid up into Zach Taylor there in turn 2.
Yeah, he's going to have to get out of that gas, and he's going to let Zach Taylor go right by. But back a little ways, Jovi Sagiped, one of our fan favorites, he is up in 12th position right now, up 3 spots already. So on his way moving forward, and then Rhett Tucker in front of him, who has had a fantastic season already.
Yeah, that could become a good battle here, and you highlight the Bronco Motorsports guy again. They're showing their stuff here with Rhett Tucker trying to crack into the top 10.
Well, they're going to have to show a little bit more because you got 3 guys on Tank Racing in the top 10 right now. So Zachary Taylor is up there. Devin Zimmerman, who by the way, earned his way onto the Air Force Racing team. Really a cool deal for him, so congratulations to him on that. And then his teammate Mike Lepicki right behind in the 46 Hooters car.
Yeah, pretty neat deal, and it just goes to show once again how real this sim racing stuff can get. I mean, so it's pretty amazing, what the connections people are able to make through this stuff.
Back up front, Daniel Ballard does not have a very big lead at all. Here comes Landon Lacey really quickly right on his bumper. Yeah,
and Sean, we talked about it. I mean, how hard is he going to fight him? If he races him too hard, he burns his stuff up. But if he gives up that that clean air, it could be the same result.
Out there in the chat, Sherry Hughes saying, good luck, go number 2. And so number 2 out there, that's Brad Davis. So I believe this is his first race with us. He's back there in 30th position for Rev Racing, probably just kind of feeling his way out right now. That's where he started, and that's where he's staying right now.
Yeah, it's so hard, Sean, if you don't qualify well. Especially these fixed sets to pick up spots, and we have a change at the front there. Sean, Daniel Ballard did give up that position to Landon Lacey, but it's so hard to pass as these runs go on. But Sean, I'll tell you what, it looks like Daniel Ballard may be falling off here just a little bit. I think he's being saved by these guys being side by side behind him, but it'll be interesting to see what he does in the coming laps.
Yeah, Ryan Ducombe on the outside. You got Zachary Taylor on the inside.
We got a caution.
We do.
It's going to be Greg Olenek, Robert Montgomery, Marshall Stanley. These guys are all going to be involved here.
Dustin Scruggs as well. So we're going to go back. We're going to go ahead and get our very first rec replay of the evening.
I don't know if Daniel Ballard let Landon Lacey go, but if he did, I'm sure he regrets it right now.
And so we're looking at the Moo and Brew car there of Greg Olenek. Let's see where he gets into people here. It likely started right up in front of him. I believe it will. Yeah, that's a lot of damage up front.
That is some hard hits right there. Look at David Duke driving through that, Sean. We need an onboard of that. I don't think he got any damage.
We'll get that here in just 1 second. Let's get another view of what happened with this 49.
I think Robert Montgomery's going to be collateral damage. I think it happens underneath him. Yeah, Dustin Scruggs and Marshall Stanley just kind of ran out of real estate there battling for the same spot and didn't realize they were next to each other, it looks like.
Let's take a look at it from Marshall Stanley's side here. And, yeah, they basically get 3 wide, almost 4 wide. And, yeah, just unbelievable on this big of a track how you run out of room.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it really narrows up as you come off the corner, Sean. So it's tough to tell, too, if Dustin Scruggs may have been trying to set up a crossover there off the corner or what. But here's David Duke's shot. He might have caught a little bit on the right front here. Could be wrong, though. You can see it developing in front of him.
Yeah, he got a little bit.
Pretty good lick on the right front. I thought on the first shot he didn't get any of it. But I say all in all, that's not a bad deal. It could have been much worse for him.
Yeah, no, you can see Marshall Stanley. He is hurt badly.
Yeah, he's driving one of those Twisted Sisters from the Gen 4 era now. Got the car all towed out sideways. Got all the leaders on pit road here. Sean, it'll be interesting to see who gets off first. Daniel Bowers got that first pit stall, and it may have benefited him to beat. It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he barely got out there first.
Yeah, that's what that first pit stall can do for you, Sean. You come in second, and you're almost guaranteed to pick up one spot, just for having that first pit stall, because when you come out, you're on the throttle, you're full speed. You don't have to check up at all. So.
And you were mentioning,
yeah,
you were mentioning earlier how important position is here on this track. Why is it so much more important on a big track like this than maybe on a short track?
Well, it's just so hard to pass, and you have to set up your passes, really well. When you go to short tracks and road courses and things like that, I think passing comes a little easier because it's a lot easier to make mistakes. Here you're not quite wide open, but you're pretty much holding that throttle either wide open or cracked a little bit. And as that run goes on, it just becomes harder and harder to turn the car. So you can't turn underneath somebody. You can't get a run on them off the corner because you're running the same line as they are, and it gets difficult. And that's why these restarts are really crazy, because these guys want to get these spots early and as quick as they can.
Well, speaking of mistakes, we are going to watch Jason Tripp make a ton of them in the All-Star race. It's coming up on May the 9th. Jason and I actually have a big bet on it. Did you hear about that today?
I did not, Sean. I haven't been able to check Discord today.
So $100 to whoever finishes lower pays $100 into the prize fund for the All-Star race. So between me, we got wrecking.
Man, we are wrecking under caution.
Oh my goodness.
That was Dean Brummett, and Jason Tripp must have been in that car.
That is highly likely. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage for Dean Brummett here.
Well,
and we're gonna see. Yeah, they're gonna delay the caution. Let's go back and find out what happened there with another wreck replay.
Not often you get 2 wreck replays in one caution.
No, it is not. I'm not really sure what happened here. And it looked like, Dean Brummett just got it out of control. I'm not really sure.
I would be really interested to see if it's not a bad shift or something, Sean. You go on board with him. I can almost guarantee you that's what it's going to be.
That was absolutely wild.
See the... Looks like I may have just locked up on him, or either that or a pedal issue or
wheel disconnected or something. Something happened there. That was absolutely wild. But that's going to take out a few guys here, and obviously not what you want to see under caution.
Yeah, regardless of what happened there, you never, especially knowing Dean Brummett, he didn't do anything on purpose or with malice, but you never want to be that guy, right? It's a tough deal for him and Josh Marcy, who he collected. Those are the only 2 I saw. But we're going to get ready to try again, see if we can get through turn 1 and 2 under caution clean this time. And be going green here in just about half a lap. But going back to Jason Tripp and your bet, I might have to throw some side bets on that, Sean, because I've never seen you drive.
I'm going to surprise a lot of people, Justin. I'm going to surprise a lot of people with how few laps I'm going to run in that race.
Yeah, I was going to say, you shooting for five clean laps?
I'm shooting for 39th place instead of whatever else. So
now look, we're going to be in the ARCA cars, Sean. Those are tough things to drive, man. And but if you and Jason just start next to each other, you just turn right, clean them out on the green, beat them back to the start finish line, and you'll have a spot. You don't have to go.
That's it. I mean, no, we're going to have some fun with it. I mean, Jason and I are obviously really, really good friends, and yeah, we're going to pick on each other an awful lot. But I will tell you, if he gets anywhere near my car, there's going to be trouble.
Well, the ARCA cars have the new damage model, and we're not going green this time. It's been delayed again. The ARCA cars have a new damage model, and those things like to stick to each other, and the hoods fly up, and all kinds of fun stuff. So we just need a Sean and Jason battle cam for that broadcast, Sean.
Well, I will tell you right now, Daniel Baldler, I believe he just throughputed. If you can check on that for me.
He got an EOL. I'm showing he was given an EOL.
It may have been for blinking. It may have been for blinking issues because he was definitely blinking a lot there. And so, again, bad internet issues all across the country between Comcast and the iRacing servers. And so not linking up very well there. It looks like they're going awfully slow on the backstretch. They may be trying to figure something out right now.
Yeah, not sure what's going on. I'm going back to see when we lost Daniel Bowler.
Yeah, they're waiting for the pace car to get up there, and then they're going to kind of get all organized again. But anyway, that All-Star race, yes, May the 9th is the actual All-Star race. We're going to have a draft day May the 1st. It is going to be absolutely incredible. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. It will be broadcast live. So a lot of the drivers in this league and the other two leagues are going to figure out which team they're on between my team, Jason Tripp's team, Adam Pettit's team, and Danny Setzer's team. And then we're going to go into some qualifier races. We're going to take the top 20 from each of those two qualifier races, plus the two highest finishing captains. And then we're going to head to the All-Star race. And, man, it is going to be a fantastic race. So we're going to have so much fun on that. There's going to be some prize money. We're hoping to get some more prizes and just all sorts of stuff. So be on the lookout for that. But the other big thing going on really, really soon, tomorrow actually, is a charity race for St. Jude. And you got to understand, in Speed Racing Network, we enjoy helping out charities. In fact, this past week a couple weeks ago, we had a charity for Sadie's All-Out Fight for against leukemia, and we raised over $1,200 on that. Now we're raising money for St. Jude with the Revved Up for the Cause for St. Jude, and basically Sean Kozier has put this thing on. Got a lot of prizes out there, including $200 for first place, $100 for second, $50 for third, and prizes, and then a $150 hard charger award too. So, man, we got 4 spots left in that race. So if you want to race in that race, get in there quickly. Get your spot reserved.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime we can help out, anybody, any charity, it's a great thing. It's awesome to be able to do that. That's one of the things that makes iRacing great, makes Speed Racing Network great. I've been involved in setting up some charity races, and it's always a good time. And everybody always has fun. So definitely join that if you can. And I'll be at work. Unfortunately, I won't be able to race, but I will definitely try to tune into it as I normally do. And that's going to be fun. Tell you what is going to be even more fun right now, Sean, is seeing these guys battle this thing out for the win. If we can ever get green here, we got Danny Dow is going to restart in first. So whole field shifted up a spot with the loss of Daniel Bowler. Yeah,
and I'm getting word from race admins saying that it was due to Bowler's blinking that he got that EOL.
It's always a tough deal, but you just kind of hope if it can clean itself up, Sean. I think Bowler will be back up there. To see Danny Dow gets a great jump here, and Danny Dow going to lead the field into turn number 1. These guys can get side by side behind him.
Danny is one of those racers that he's always dangerous, but he hasn't really had a good season so far. And so seeing him out front is actually really refreshing. It's great to see him out there in that Silverback Tax Solutions car for Team SRN.
Yeah, and he's one of the good guys in the league too, man. I don't know anybody that just doesn't like Danny Dow. And so, like you said, refreshing is a great word to use there. I enjoy seeing Danny have good runs, but he's going to have to he's not going to be able to relax for very long, Sean. We have a caution already now, so he can relax. I lied. Not sure what happened. Looks like we got some wrecking on the entry at pit road. Dean Brummett may be involved. He's having a tough night if that's the case.
Oh, my goodness. We got all sorts of stuff. That's Greg Olenek over there. I see the 42. That's Kevin Winker.
Daniel Keith Jr. looks like.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of crazy stuff going on. This is a little strange to see some of this stuff happening this early in the race.
Yeah, it started off well, Sean, and now it's everything's kind of getting muddied up. But I tell you, if you're looking at some of these guys, we check out our Sandwich Man Rec replay. Oh wow, it's just a whole bunch of blinking and crazy stuff going on there. Not sure what happened there, Sean.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to get a good view of this because everybody was blinking as bad as they were.
Well, Sean, I can tell you we lost Derek De Silva for a brief minute. No, there it is right there. Oh, Daniel Bowler. Oh, Daniel Bowler took a hard hit there.
Yeah, just bad luck all around for Bowler tonight.
See it here. It looks like, you see, it looks like the 42 blinked out when he came back up. The 23 didn't know he was there, and he turned right to avoid him and got up into Bowler. But like I said, bad luck for him here.
Certainly not what you want to see, especially from one of those drivers that's so close to that cut line. Daniel Dow up front, and then Zachary Taylor in second. So our points leader making his way towards the front.
Yeah, if I was Danny Dow, I think there's about, I don't know, what's our field size, 37? I think there's about 35 other cars I'd rather see in my rearview mirror to start this restart off here. Zachary Taylor, you know how aggressive he is, and he's not going to play around with Danny Dow. Refreshing is not the word that Zachary Taylor would use to see that 21 car out front.
No, this is kind of and no offense to Danny Dow at all. It's kind of old school versus new school. So Danny Dow, one of the I'm going to say the word legend in here in Speed Racing Network, again being that champion of Speed Racing or of Mid-South Madness Season 1. So he's one of the old guard. He's been here kind of the entire time that Mid-South Madness and Speed Racing Network has been in existence, and then this season is Zachary Taylor's first with us.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Sean. Could be kind of a passing of the torch here, although I'm not sure Danny Dow wants to pass that torch. But if and those at home may be thinking, hey, look, we're only on lap 18. I mean, this how important is this restart really going to be? Well, you let Zach Taylor just get out front and just drive away from you, you're gonna have a hard time beating him if he can get in a groove. Especially even if you do kind of, if you get muddied up there at the end, start getting, green, white checkers, late race restarts. If he can control the field, good luck, because he's going to be a tough guy to beat. So Danny Dow, I imagine, will probably try to do everything he can to keep Zachary Taylor behind him.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of guys that have had a rough race already. I know David Duke was involved in a little bit of a wreck earlier, and he is sitting back here in 28th position. In fact, it looks like he's kind of blinking out just a tad. That might just be us. He looks pretty solid there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell right now, Sean, with the way everything's been with iRacing and the servers and Comcast, and we even saw it in the Pro Series, Coke Series guys the other night. So hopefully it'll clean up. If it is, giving us trouble here tonight, and maybe we can get some good racing in. But we're going to double them up, Sean. Try to go green again, see if we can't get a run in.
Yeah, if we can just kind of get spread out a little bit, I think this is going to be a really great race. But we just got to get through, 10, 15 laps here without a caution.
Yeah, and it looked like we were going to have a good long run there to start things off. And, just two guys battling over a little bit of real estate, and you see ever since then, we ain't really been able to get going. But that's just how it goes in these things, man. And cautions breed cautions. That's what they say.
out there in the chat right now, Sherry Hughes still rooting for number 2, Brad Davis. Brad is up 15 spots right now. So he started off in 30th position. He is up in 15th. So he is not quite our hard charger, but he is one of the hardest charging out there.
Yeah, and we talked about when you were stuck back there how hard it is to pass. Well, all you need is a couple cautions and things to kind of shuffle around, and you pick up a whole bunch of spots. But you mentioned the hard charger. I'm showing Gregory Joyner at the moment. I don't know if that's who you're showing, but he's up to 10th place on my scoring.
Yep, that's what I got as. So actually, Nathaniel Mon is actually up 18 spots. So it's close between him and Nathaniel Mon and Jamie Plurd. So a lot of guys with a lot of great racing going on. But Danny Dow is going to get this restart as the pace car dives off. And Danny Dow takes off.
Yeah, and Sean, much like a plate race, the draft is so big here. We say plate, really talking about Talladega and Daytona. You don't want to get too big of a jump here because these guys can really put together a big run off of 2, and you see some blinking out of our leader. Hopefully that'll clear up. But, man, the 53 and the 14 are tight on each other. That's Landon Lacey and Zachary Taylor side by side as they come off of turn 2. Looks like Zachary Taylor washed up the track a little bit. That's going to allow Landon Lacey to get clear of him. Now he's got to look out for Rhett Tucker.
Yeah, Rhett Tucker, one of the better drivers in this series, where he's always up front. I mean, he's just always in that top 5, top 10 area. So just a matter of time before he gets his win.
Yeah, and you see Rhett Tucker right there. He got down in front of him, and he defended the crossover off the corner, although he didn't keep defending it, and Zachary Taylor is going to get to his inside. But I think Rhett Tucker will be able to get back clear before we get down here into turn 1, but expect Zach Taylor to drive in shallow here, and he does. He's going to go for that 3rd spot, but it's still Danny Dow leading the field, showing the way here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Yeah, well, those two are fighting for third place. Landon Lacey trying to make a move here on the outside of Danny Dow.
Yeah, that was a big run Landon Lacey just got off of turn 2. Now Danny Dow is going to have to defend here. Landon Lacey's going to set up the crossover here, Sean, when they come off the corner. Danny Dow's going to do a good job in backing it down and holding the bottom, but I think he had to back it down a little bit too much. Landon Lacey got really wide off of 2 there. They're going to be side by side when they come to the stripe.
Yep,
he's going to side draft from here.
Still going to be Danny Dow there. Let's see if Landon Lacey can pull something out of his hat here.
All that racing side by side. Look who's right back in the mix there. It's Zachary Taylor in the 14. This is some great racing we got going on up front, Sean. And you see Rhett Tucker, he's driving up the outside of Ryan Ducombe. They're side by side as we come off of 2.
Yeah, right behind them, Devin Zimmerman from Tank Racing also. So just got a bunch of cars here that have all of a sudden come alive.
Yeah, and it's still Danny Dow holding the bottom here. He's got Zach Taylor now trying to fill up his rearview mirror. And you got to wonder how hard is he working here. Oh, we got one loose here off of 2. Off of 4. We're wrecking big. Got one spinning. Looks like Emerson Ardon, Michael and Minty.
Oh. Jordan Saylor's involved. Troy Teichmeyer involved. Stan Houseman. Yep, a lot of damage back there. So right back under yellow once again.
Man, that was some great racing. I needed to catch my breath, Sean. You will check out our Sandwich Man Rec replay here. And speaking of Sandwich Man, if you haven't been to their website or on Shopify, you can find them on Shopify. I highly suggest doing it. I bought one of their mystery boxes from them. It was really cool. I'm not sure if they have that deal going on right now. Last I checked, they did. But check them out on Shopify here. And you see, Jordan Saylors gets a big run there on the inside of Corey Saucier. He checks up, and then he got ran over once he got Corey Saucier loose. And that's how easy it is to have those issues. And then he just somebody came in and ARCA braked it. See, right there, he got him loose, checked up, and then he got ran over. And he does a good job in locking the brakes down, and then you got 4 or 5 guys that just didn't check up there. And right there, checks up, gets ran over. Sometimes you can stay in it.
And I believe that was the 86, I believe is what I saw there. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to go back and check that out one more time in order to figure out what car that was. It says the 86 there. I'm not sure that is... That's
Tristan Bailey,
Is that Tristan Bailey?
Yeah.
It is. One of our independents.
And Sean, I was just watching these guys come down pit road, and I don't know if Danny Dow was just trying to be extra conservative to not get caught speeding, but, man, he got passed on pit road and almost by 2 guys. But look at Daniel Bowler. He's staying out. He's going to be up front here on the restart.
Yeah, he's won that track position right back after that blinking issue. He got an EOL, but now he is back up towards the front right next to David Duke himself. So then keep an eye on Dean Brummett back there in third as well after whatever issue that he had a little bit earlier. In fact, you know what? It'd be a good idea. Let's see if we can't get him into the booth right now and ask him what happened.
Let's do it.
Hey, Dean Brummett, this is Sean and Justin up in the booth, man. How's it going?
I've had a better night, to say the least.
Yeah, we got to ask, man, what happened?
Man, it was weird. Like, I touched the brakes, and they locked up on me, man. I've never had that happen once.
That's what they all say, Dean.
I know. It also, it doesn't really help here that, I brought a new sponsor on this evening, and while they're incredibly dangerous and extremely inconvenient, I do love Fig Newtons.
That's awesome. No, we see the Wonder Bread car out there, and I think you're going full Ricky Bobby on us. Is that correct?
Yeah, and my pedals, they had something to say. That I looked down and there was an inscription on them. My pedal said, much like the late great Colonel Sanders, "I'm too drunk to taste this chicken."
Hey, Dean, look, man. You look like you recovered, stayed out, got a little bit of track positioning, and be restarting third. You got a little buffer back to the fresh tires, man. You try to battle these guys for the lead here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna give it everything that we can, because if you ain't first, you're last. I'm just gonna go up here and give them everything that I got there. And
you could be second, you could be third,
no,
could be fourth. You could be fifth.
No, that don't make no sense. Why wouldn't you want to be first?
See, everybody forgets about that line.
Nah, everybody does. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna stay out here. I mean, the car's got a little damage on it, but we still got the fast repair in the bank. It wasn't too slow there under the greens. So we'll go out here. We'll see what we got. Hopefully, we can drive this thing back a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
All right, you too. All
right.
That
was a great interview, man.
Man, I love Dean Brummett, man. He is such a good interview.
That was my first Dean Brummett interview, and shades of Clint Boyer, maybe.
Oh, he is an absolute joy to have in the booth especially when he's side by side with Jake Rowell. Man, that combo, they are the most hilarious two people there are, and they know about racing too.
That's right, Sean, and we're about to see some racing here. I got a little wager for you. I got Daniel Bowdler with the lead by the time they come off of 2 here.
Ooh, I'll bet against that because David Duke knows how to hold that position.
All right, we'll see here. David Duke's going to show the way. I could be wrong. It looks like Daniel's going to lose his spot. Come on, Daniel. We didn't shake on him, man. Hey, look, I kind of mentioned it to Dean, though. He's got a little bit of a buffer back to these fresh tires, but these guys with fresh tires are going to have to be working hard, and they're going to be coming fast to try to get out to the front. As right now, we're going to have a side-by-side battle for the lead between David Duke and Dean Brummett.
Yeah, Landon Lacey, the very first car that did pit that time around, he is back in 6th position. So he's got about 7-lap newer tires. So be on the lookout for that here very shortly. But right now, these top 5, all on older tires, are really putting the race on.
Yeah, and you saw David Duke with a big side draft down the front stretch of Dean Brummett there, and he's able to pull him back a little bit to him. And for those that don't understand what a side draft is, there's a misconception. Speaking of side draft, Daniel's about to get a double side draft. He can get in the middle there, but not going to happen for him. But when you get up beside that car, you're not picking up speed. You're actually just packing a whole bunch of air on that rear spoiler. You don't see as big side drafts in the Xfinity cars because the spoiler is not as big as they are in the Cup cars. Just pack all that air, and it pulls that guy back to you. And it's pretty cool to experience if you're in the car. You can actually feel or hear the RPMs kind of die down a little bit as the car gets slowed down. But you see these guys are 3 wide here behind them, and Daniel Bowdler is just kind of hanging out, letting these two guys duke it out. No pun intended, and see if he can find a hole and get up there to the lead. But still side by side for the race lead.
We'll take a look at Landon Lacey. He is going to get up underneath Daniel Bowdler coming off this corner, and he is going to be racing for 3rd position.
Yeah, Daniel's actually going to be able to hold him off here. He got enough of a run. But, Sean, if I'm Daniel, you got to know that he's on fresher tires, so you've got to get clear of these guys in front of you. It's not going to happen. Landon Lacey's able to drive it way deeper into the corner. Danny Dow's on fresh tires. He's going around Daniel Bowdler as well, so maybe settling in wasn't the right move there for Daniel Bowdler. Landon Lacey's going to have a huge run off the 4 and down the front stretch. We got one almost in the grass there. that's Rhett Tucker. Is him and Danny Dow are doing battle back there for the 4th position.
Yeah, Zachary Taylor had a little bit of trouble back there. He's back in 7th now, so be on the lookout for him to try to bring his way right back up front. But Landon Lacey right now, I think, is kind of sitting in the catbird seat back there in 3rd.
Yeah, and Sean, let me tell you, Daniel Bowder on those old tires just got a great drive off to get back to the inside of Rhett Tucker, so he's doing everything he can to fend these guys off. But he also has Zach Taylor, kind of held up behind him, so I'll be curious to see how patient Zach Taylor is with Daniel Bowder. We've seen these guys have a run-in or two in the past.
Yes, we have. Now they've kind of buried the hatchet, that sort of thing. But you got Landon Lacey now up front. These top 3 drivers, all independents. So our Xfinity guys have got to get something going.
Yeah, and not really surprising to see though. That's a lot of talent right there at the front. You got Danny Dow who's following these guys, and he's on fresh tires as well. But it's going to be important for him to get past Dean Brummett and David Duke quickly, because the longer he stays behind him, I think that more and more Landon Lacey will be able to open up a gap. And he's going to get, he got contact there. He's moving sideways.
That's Danny Dow. Danny Dow getting thrown around like a ping pong ball, and there he goes.
That is a huge crash. Some hard hits. Joby Saggy Ped's involved.
Oh, lots of wrecking. Oh, man, we got everybody all over the place.
It looked like Rhett Tucker had a great run on the inside, took it down there. Danny Dow didn't expect him to be, as far to the inside as he was, and they just ran out of room, Sean.
Let's see if we can't get back up there and find out what happened, because there was a lot to that wreck.
Well, thank goodness we've got the Sandwich Man wreck replay to show it all to us, Sean.
It happened a lot further up than that, but we're going to actually go back to Joby, I believe, is one of the first ones that was involved.
Well, Danny Dow got turned sideways, and then he bounced off of about 9 cars. Save. Nope. 1, 2, wall, 3. Just 3. Okay. Maybe 4. Nope. You see those guys down there on the apron, Sean? That's an actual thing in real life. You can run down there. It hadn't been quite replicated in iRacing, but yeah, he just gets sideways, slid up into, I can't tell, I believe that's Corey Saucier, he slid up into and came down and got into Joby Saggy Pit, and it was on from there.
Yeah, so Danny Dow's going to have some major damage. Look at this, just like a pinball all over the place.
Yeah, he had it saved, Sean, and he kind of eased up because I think he saw Joby coming up in his mirror. It's tough to do when you're trying to save the car like that, and you're looking in your mirror trying to not get ran over. And he sees Joby coming up, and so he moves up a little bit and got up into Corey Saucier. And just keep your foot in it. Send it.
Yeah, Robert Montgomery almost made it through that thing. We'll see it from Joshua Siegfried's point of view here.
Oh, that's the worst. When you're going straight, you think you got everything beat, and then the car just turns to the right.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you have a Shoney's logo right up in your grill.
Once again, great sponsor plug for Bronco Motorsports. They're really creative with the sponsor plugs, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they find the good ones. And speaking of Bronco, let's see. They've got Rhett Tucker still up there in 6th. And so Rhett Tucker in 6th. You got Greg Joyner back in 9th. Nathaniel Mon in 15th. So they still got some good cars running up towards the front.
Yeah, I have a feeling the yellow flags are not over, Sean, nor are they close over. These guys aren't separating as much as I thought they would, or at least as quickly as I thought they would. I thought they'd kind of break apart a little bit faster than they have so far, and that's unfortunately leading to some of these issues. But when we are green, it has been some awesome racing.
Well, we're going to have a little bit of a risky move here. You got Jamie Plurd up here on 8-lap-old tires. And so historically what we've seen with people that have older tires that are up in that pole position or up in that front restart position, they have some trouble getting up to speed, and then that backs up the entire pack. So hopefully he can get this thing going really, really quick right off the gun, so that way we don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, old tires, you're in the lead. Stamp it and send it, man. Go for it, Jamie. Do your thing. if you get some quick cautions, and I'm not sure where he was running at the time, Sean, but if he can hold off and at worst fall back to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and we get a caution in 6 or 7 laps, that'll probably bring the field back down pit road, and it'll be a net gain. So a little strategy call here always makes things fun. Landon Lacey going to be on his outside. David Duke there in 3rd. Dean Brummett in 4th. And a whole bunch of fast race cars right there. Daniel Bowler, he's up there. Zach Taylor up there. Brett Tucker. It's all just guys who have been right there all race long. And then there's Jamie Plurd, who is probably quivering if I was him.
Well, it's definitely a bunch of big names behind you, but this is where you prove yourself. This is the time for you to shine.
Stamp it and send it, Jamie.
Get after it, boys. Let's go. Jamie Plurd takes that restart, and he takes off. Gets a good restart, actually, so doesn't spin the tires. He just gets it out there. Let's see how long he can hold Landon Lacey off. I don't think it's going to be that long.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jamie's rocking a Stormtrooper helmet. That works for Timothy Latham in the Cup Series, so it might work for him here. You see right there, he goes into 1. He just has to check up way more than everybody else. Almost gets ran over by David Duke, and that's going to allow Landon Lacey to take the lead off of 2. I told you Landon didn't have the lead off of 2.
Oh, and Zach Taylor. That's the second time he's done that tonight. So really great wheeling by him to keep that thing going forward.
Yeah, but at some point he's going to have to stop spending time working through the field. He's going to have to get up there and stay up there. But I have a feeling you'll see him back in the top 5 here in about 4 or 5 laps.
Well, out there in the chat, Sherry Hughes keeps on cheering on Brad Davis. Let's go back to Brad Davis. It's not that far back. He's in 8th.
Yeah, Brad's doing his thing, man. He's hanging in there, making not really quick work, but methodical work of everybody else, and he's just up there hanging out now in the top 10, trying to pick up some more.
Jamie Plurd holding on to 3rd place right here, especially even on those older tires. But on the outside, you've got David Duke, and he's being followed by Daniel Bowler, who will take that 3rd position more than likely off this corner.
Yeah, if Jamie was in the back riding around, even though he has an 8-lap difference on the tires, it may not be as bad as, it seems, simply because he may have just been riding around, so we don't really know yet. But he's hanging in there, only back to 4th here after 3 laps, so doing his thing. Brad Davis is up to 7th, doing his thing. Everybody's doing their thing.
Yeah, a lot of people coming from the back all the way up to the front. So Jamie Plurd right now up 32 spots. David Duke up 23. Brad Davis up 22. Greg Joyner up 22. Nathaniel Mon up 22. So, man, starting from the back, working your way forward. These are some hard chargers.
Yeah, one thing I haven't seen, Sean, that I kind of expected to see a little more of was that wall coming off of turn 2, sneaking up and biting a few more of these guys. And even off of 4, you see these guys are getting wide, but they're not getting up into that fence, and that's impressive to see because it's tough to do, man. These walls will sneak up on you pretty quick here at Auto Club.
Yeah, that car just drifts up the track, and you get that right rear quarter panel sometimes into that wall, and that'll mess you all up.
I'll tell you what, Sean, right there, I don't know if you caught it, but going down into 1, I think Zach Taylor just cut Ryan Ducombe a lot of slack because Ryan Ducombe come way down the track, and I thought he was going to turn, but it looked like Zach Taylor checked up for him. But right now, it's just Landon Lacey showing the way.
Yeah, Ryan Ducombe side by side with Brad Davis right now. And then up front, you got David Duke, Daniel Baldler. And then side by side with David Duke, Greg Joyner there on the inside.
Yeah, that's not a name we talked about a whole lot tonight, Sean. But good to see him having a good run here about halfway through this race. And or exactly halfway through this race, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, but again, one of the better drivers in this league. So I mean, he's kind of sneaky fast. He's one of those that you don't really say his name all that much, and then all of a sudden he's there.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of guys in this series that surprises you. You kind of expect to see all these guys up front when they make their way up front, and the only surprise you see is when guys have rough nights. But speaking of rough nights, man, Zach Taylor is just getting he bounced off of about 2 cars. Through 3 and 4 there and got sucked up in the middle. You got to wonder if maybe he's not having an issue or maybe chewed his stuff up a little bit more than he wanted to, but he's had his hands full here the last couple of laps.
Yeah, but behind him, he's got just a whole gaggle of cars trying to find their way up there, so he kind of gets out of the trouble spot for now.
How many cars is a gaggle, Sean? Just curious.
I'm going to guess like 4 or 5.
Got it. Well, I think maybe the numbers doesn't matter. It's just how much they move around, right?
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of moving around, did you see Tristan Bailey in 1 and 2 there? He passed about 3 cars on the outside, Sean, and he's up to 8th now. He's up 15 spots from where he started, and pretty sure he was involved in that last record a few minutes ago.
Yes, he was, and so it just goes to show you that you're never really out of the race.
Tell you who's not out of it, Daniel Bowdler. He is cutting into that gap a little bit there, and kind of reverse of how we saw the opening stint of this race go. You see the sun's kind of peeked behind the clouds, cooling this track off, a little bit more grip, and it's kind of starting to see some new names coming up towards the front here now because of that. You know, it's always crazy to see how that can change how the track drives, but I think it's definitely changing it big time. Not as many big slides off the corners we were seeing earlier.
Yeah, Daniel Bowdler just really inching closer. Not really making a ton of time up, but enough that if he keeps this up, he'll be up front pretty soon.
Yeah, here's some bad news for Landon Lacey also, is if Daniel Bowdler gets to him, he's got 2 guys right there who are kind of staying in touch with him. So if Daniel Bowdler gets to Landon Lacey, there's probably going to be 2 more guys ready to pounce as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Landon Lacey is able to fend these guys off.
Here they come off of 3 and 4. You got Landon Lacey up front, Daniel Bowdler in 2nd, Gregory Joyner in 3rd, David Duke 4th, Ryan Ducombe in 5th, and then back a little ways, Zachary Taylor in 6th.
Zachary Taylor is just glad to not be 3 wide middle, if I had to guess.
Yeah, but back a little bit in the pack, we got a little bit of 2 wide action going on, so nothing too crazy. I think they're finally starting to figure out that they got to get spread out on this track.
Yeah, that was Rhett Tucker losing a couple spots there in 1 and 2, and all his buddies he's been running up front with have kind of got back up front, and he's been left out.
But back up front, Landon Lacey's just staying in that half-second gap between him and Daniel Bowdler, and I think that might favor Bowdler a little bit. Bowdler just doesn't want to let him get too far out.
Yeah, if he can sniff the draft here, that's going to help him big time on the straightaways. It's just going to be a matter of maximizing corner entry and exit. But right now, Landon Lacey's doing a great job of managing that gap, and that's really all you have to do.
Yeah, going back a little ways in the pack, you got Dean Brummett back here that he's just having some struggles, man. He started off in 7th position, all the way back into 18th right now.
Yeah, and the guy right there in front of him, too, Danny Dow, is, we saw him up front, for a good portion of this race, and he slid back, and now these guys are looking for an opportunity to find their way back up to the front if they can.
We talked a little bit earlier on the broadcast about Aaron Gerwitz, just consistency, and he's just using that consistency right now to be right outside that top 10, up in 11th position.
Yeah, and if he can get in the top 10, Sean, that's an accomplishment, man, in the SRN, in any series, whether it's a Truck, Xfinity, or a Cup, man. It's some great competition, and these top 10s are not easy to find. So if you can get one, that's a great night for you. And Aaron Gerwitz is trying to get one from Mike Lepicki if he can get out there too.
And back a little ways further, we got last night's winner, Corey Saucier. So he's up in 21st position, but he started off in 2nd. So he's going to have to get something figured out quick.
I think it's just going to be a matter of cautions falling when these guys need them. The problem is right now is if and when we get another caution, everybody's going to come down pit road. So there's not going to be any positions to gain there unless you're willing to stay out and hope for another quick one. But if we get the green flag stop, Sean, that can make this really interesting for sure.
Yeah, especially with how many laps we have to go here. So the question is, when do you drop in? Do you take the risk that this is going to go green and come in for a short pit right about now?
I don't know. I don't really know what the window is here, Sean, but I don't know if going as soon as the window opens is the way to go. I think you got to run it out just a little bit longer than that, because if you come right when the window opens, you're just going to it's going to burn you on the back end. If you come in when the window opens and then you get another caution, after everything's cycled out and you've ran 5 or 6 laps, that's the best case scenario. But it's always tricky. You never tell. You're kind of gambling when you have these green flag stops.
Well, up front, Landon Lacey hasn't really been able to put too much distance on Bowler just yet, but Bowler, again, has Gregory Joyner that's a little bit closer to him there. So, if those two can possibly get lined up, maybe Gregory Joyner can give him a little bit of a push.
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of talked about how these tires are falling off, and if you rode on board with one of these guys, I imagine they're way out of the throttle in the corners. So I don't really know if you're going to be able to line two cars up and push, how you may want to help you get up there. But I don't think Landon Lacey's trying to pull away from him, to be honest with you, Sean. He's got a good gap. Just manage that gap and save the tires. But kind of see on board here with Danny Dow.
And you can hear it on the broadcast how much he gets out of the throttle going into these turns. And so you don't necessarily have to brake here. I know some people tap the brake, but you don't really have to do that. You just got to get off the throttle really early and just roll it through that corner.
Well, what'll help you with cornering, Sean, with those brakes is you're able to adjust the brake bias. Look at this run he gets. That's a great corner there by Danny Dow. See Corey Saucer gives him the outside, and maybe the inside's where you want to be in 1 and 2, but what you do with those brakes, you can adjust what's called brake bias, and that just changes the percentage of how much brake is in the front brakes versus the rear brakes. And so what you'll do is you'll put a whole bunch of brake in the rear brake. So you'll move your brake bias down to something 52, 53%. And that just means that 53% of the brakes are in the front, 48's in the back. And when you have a lot of rear brake bias like that, you drag those brakes and it'll help the front end of that car turn. And so you see that a lot as these runs go on. If we could pull up telemetry, I know we can't, but it'd be great if we could. You'd probably be able to see somebody like Landon Lacey or Daniel Powder or even David Duke. He's really good at doing that, dragging those brakes and helping that car turn a little bit.
Yeah, I don't believe. Yeah, we don't have the telemetry to actually show the brake, unfortunately.
Yeah, I race some blocks that they won't let you see it. They don't, obviously for competition reasons. You'd be able to see everybody else's throttle input and things like that. But even though in real life you can do that, so I don't know why they wouldn't unlock that for you to do. But you got Dean Brummett coming down pit road. He's obviously trying the short pit, and I imagine the window probably just open.
Yeah, and I think he's just really taking a gamble here, and there's really nothing for him to lose at this point.
Yeah, Jovi Saggyped, did he come down with him as well? I couldn't tell.
No, he's still out there on the track. He's just kind of jumping around. Some of these cars are jumping around in our standings, and again, just some of that internet issue. You can see that jumping around going on the top of your screen.
Something just happened to Daniel Bowder, Sean. He just lost 2 positions. He just got passed by Gregory Joyner and David Duke. I completely missed it.
And then right behind him, Zachary Taylor. So Daniel Bowder right on the tail of David Duke right now.
I'm going to go back and watch it here on my screen. He actually got passed going into 3 a couple laps ago by Gregory Joyner, and then David Duke got him there going into 1. So
right now, Gregory Joyner in second position. David Duke right on his tail, and then Daniel Bowder, the third car in that train. But right behind them, Tristan Bailey has made the pass on Zachary Taylor, and Ryan Ducombe looking on the underside as well. Not going to get there, though.
Yeah, and if these pit stops are coming up, Sean, this is one of the easier pit roads to get down. However, you still have the possibility of getting ran over. It's a tough balance. Do you want to call it out and let everybody know you're coming, and then everybody can kind of react off of that and pit, or do you kind of sneak up on them and pit without anybody knowing? You run the risk of getting ran over, but I imagine we're going to start seeing these stops here soon. I've got the chat pulled up, so we'll see if anybody calls it out. Rhett Tucker, he's leaving pit road. Christopher Heller is leaving pit road as well, and we got Daniel Bauer and Zach Taylor getting really tight there off the 2.
Yeah, but now these cars are all getting really close to each other between second place and about 7th place here. Mike Lepicki and Devin Zimmerman, 2 teammates, trying to work their way forward to catch up to their teammate Zachary Taylor as well.
Yeah, and these guys are just stacked on top of each other. Sean just nose to tail here. And it's really easy to run over each other when you get in this position, Sean. So it's going to be important to see if these guys can stay off of each other. We got Daniel Keefe Jr. coming down pit road right now, but it is still Landon Lacey showing the way. And But the only thing better he would like to see in his mirror is these guys get side by side. But other than that, he is satisfied with everything he can see out that mirror. I wouldn't even be paying attention to that mirror if I was him.
Yeah, he has extended that lead to 1.22 seconds at this point. So it was half a second when Baldler was up there on the tail. So he has definitely extended that lead with all this shuffling going on.
Yeah, David Duke threw a big block on Tristan Bailey there, and that's going to allow him to make a move here on Gregory Joyner. He's going to slide up in front of him. Gregory Joyner's going to throw the crossover. Maybe not. Didn't get quite the drive off the corner, and that's going to allow Tristan Bailey to get underneath Gregory Joyner.
And so now the question, Justin, when do you pit?
Hey, look, man. It's hard to tell because if you're back here racing, in this gaggle, as you would call it, it's difficult, man. Because if you pit, you run the risk of getting ran over, and at the same time, you're enjoying racing like this. So I don't know. I tell you, if I'm Landon Lacey, I don't think I'm pitting before any of these guys. I've got enough of a lead that if they come down, I can wait a lap and then come down and react to that. But it'd be interesting to see. You're starting to see a lot more guys come down pit road. Pit road's starting to get pretty busy. Daniel Bauer's still sliding back too, Sean. If I was Daniel, I'd be coming down. He's clearly struggling. I'd come down quickly.
Yeah, especially if Ducom passes you here, then you got that free road right behind you that you can get onto pit road extremely easily. So that might be the plan.
Yeah, that's a good call, Sean. I know I've used that strategy before. You kind of got a couple cars behind you, but then you've got a good gap between them. You just let one of those guys go, and then you kind of bleed down pit road. And who was that?
Is that Nathaniel Mon? Yeah, Nathaniel Mon really got out of control there.
He was taking the chicane. That's a joker lap, right? Okay, here comes the leader, Sean. We got guys coming down pit road. A bunch of guys coming down here, including our leader.
Yeah, but Daniel Bowdler actually stays out on that lap. So does Gregory Joyner. So they will assume first and second place. Gregory Joyner up in first, Daniel Bowdler in second. Mike Lepicki and Devin Zimmerman back a little ways here for third and fourth, but they're going to stay out for just a couple more laps also.
Yeah, if I'm Joyner and Bowdler, I'm coming down this time. You're running towards the front, so it's not worth trying to stay out and hope for a caution. Maybe if I'm one of these guys, maybe Stan Houseman, Wayne Rayburn, who were kind of mid-pack, maybe that's where you want to stay out. But here comes Joyner. Bowdler is going to stay out, though. Kind of surprising. And I think Joyner is getting a really, really conservative pit road entry here. It'll be interesting to see how he cycles out in comparison to our leader at the time when the cycle started, Landon Lacey.
Yeah, teammates Mike Lepicki and Devin Zimmerman both in as well. And so Daniel Bowdler, I think this time around is going to be his time in. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, if he's staying out open for a caution, I think he's had too good of a run for that to be the move. It could work out for him, but I don't know. He's going to put Zachary Taylor a lap down? I mean, if he gets a caution within the next lap or so, he's going to have a ton of guys trapped a lap down, but we'll see. He's going to stay out again, yeah. Still staying out.
Yeah, I think he's just hoping for that lucky caution out there, but as spread out as everybody is right now and as big as this track is, I'm not sure we're going to see it.
Well, as these guys continue to cycle through and get their laps back, it's not going to help Daniel Bowdler at all. I mean, he needs a caution to come quickly if it's going to come, and I don't know if we're going to see that as spread out as everybody is, like you said. So you see now Tristan Bailey unlapping himself.
Well, now it makes it even more difficult for Daniel Bowdler to get onto pit road. And here we go.
I get that caution here. Danny Dow's sideways. He saved it. Wow. And Daniel Bowdler is coming down this time now. Yeah, and you got to know when he saw that in his mirror, his eyes lit up.
And you got Emerson Ardon in the 57 that was spun sideways on pit road there. But newcomer Tyler Markle right now showing as the leader. He is not pitted yet, so he is up 23 positions, up in the lead in that pink number 41 car. And we will see how long he stays out there. Brad Williams in second place, 1.6 seconds behind.
And see, if I'm Tyler Markle, I'm staying out as long as I can now, right? You kind of made your bed, time to sleep in it, right? See if you can get comfortable. Maybe you'll get a caution. We got really close there, and Daniel Bowdler would have came out in really good shape. He would have had the freshest tires and had a ton of guys caught a lap down, but didn't work out for him. and we'll see where he cycles out now.
No, Marshall Stanley coming in. But Markle out front by a second and a half right now. Of course, he's got old tires and almost no fuel. Same thing with Brad Williams and Stan Houseman back there in third position in the Tropical Smoothie Cafe car. So they definitely need to pit here very shortly. But it looks like Landon Lacey, once everything cycles back through, will have the lead. And right now, it's 2.5 seconds over second place.
Yeah, and all Landon Lacey's hoping for is for that to cycle out as quickly as possible. Let's just go ahead and get to where we need to be. Let's get back out front, no cautions, and hopefully he can just ride it out. And Tyler Markle is hoping the exact opposite. He is begging for a caution. He's probably lobbying a teammate right now to have an itchy arm or something. Just kidding.
Oh, and that was pretty close right there. That almost resulted in a caution with the 55 coming right by him. And so, really close out there. That was Michael Amenti.
Yeah, he can't be the caution. That's it. We might have the caution. 25. Who's that in a 25?
Marshall Stanley.
Marshall Stanley. He got turned hard into the outside wall there. He saved it. Wall just kind of straightened him out, and we're getting about as close to a caution as we can without getting one.
I mean, there are 3 wide back here, and Stan Houseman down there on old tires on the bottom of that line. Not really sure that's where you want to be.
Yeah, and Marshall Stanley, he's on fresh tires, but he just got nosed into the outside wall, and I'm curious to see how much that hurt him. But
up front, Tyler Markle still staying out. So 2-second lead on Brad Williams. Landon Lacey 27 seconds behind the leader here, but on very, very fresh tires. And at some point, these guys have to start thinking, okay, when it's the time to throw in the towel.
Well, here's the thing, John. Yeah, he's coming down now. For Tyler Markle, he even though he doesn't have most of the field lapped, I mean, really most of the field's not lapped, this can still work out for him if he gets a caution. The reason why is because all of these guys who have already pitted, I mean, we're a good few laps removed now from pit cycles or from pit stops. So if they feel the need to come down and get fresh tires again, and they very well might, because if you've got half of those guys come in and half of them don't, I think the guys who are on older tires are sitting ducks. So Tyler Markle's just hoping to get a caution before he has the pit. Hopefully this thing can cycle out for him, but he may be coming. Yeah, he's coming this time. So the strategy's not going to work out for him. It doesn't look like. Stan Houseman's still out there though, so he's gonna hang in there. Yeah,
Stan Houseman's going to get that all-important point for leading a lap as he comes across the start-finish line. But just take a look at Landon Lacey compare the time between him and Markle. So it was about 1.6 seconds a lap better for Landon Lacey on those fresh tires, and we'll see here shortly what it looks like compared to Stan Houseman as he crosses the start-finish line, and again 1.6 to 1.8 seconds per lap faster.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much fresh tires are worth. And the bad news for Stan Houseman is he's coming down now, so he's not going to be able to hang out much longer. So it's going to cycle out now. It's going to be our guy Landon Lacey cycling back out to the lead here.
Yeah, Landon Lacey up front. David Duke is going to be in second place, but followed very closely by points leader Zachary Taylor.
Yeah, that could be an interesting battle here, because if you get a caution, you almost don't want to be in second. It's almost better to be right behind the leader. But we'll see what happens here as these guys are battling out for right now second. They're hoping they can get up there, but that gap is not closing at all up to Landon Lacey.
And just checking in on a couple other people that we've talked about tonight. So Daniel Bowdler back here in 7th position. And again, he was one of the latest people to pit, so he's got those fresh tires, but not sure that 3-lap fresher tires are going to do it with this much distance between him and Landon Lacey.
Can we pull up the interval between him and Landon Lacey and just see how much that's worth, if it is worth anything at all?
I can't right now, no, but but I'll tell you what it is. It's 7.5 seconds.
Well, I'm in the lap comparison. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Are we able to pull it up between the 7th and 1st place guy?
I am. Don't believe, but I'll check. I'll try that actually. See, you're going to teach me how to do this stuff, man.
Hey, I didn't say all that, but look, I can just look at the score, and as a matter of fact, it looks like Daniel Bauer is 0.3 faster. Is that? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hey, I figured it out. See, you challenged me. I'm going to get it done, just like I'm going to get it done in that All-Star race that's coming up.
Race. That's right. That's right. Hey, I just challenge you to not finish last.
Oh, that shouldn't be hard. Jason Tripp will be in last.
Oh, man. Jason's probably watching, probably hears all of this.
Yeah, he's probably going to fire me.
I don't know about fire you, but I'd be really worried if I saw him in my rear view mirror and, within a half a car. If he's close enough to just stay full throttle on corner entry and clean you out, I'd be worried about it.
Hey, those that know the history between me and Jason Tripp, it wouldn't be the first time that he's cleaned me out on the track.
Hey, I tell you what, man, this 3-car train here, they're getting a good draft down these straightaways, and they're actually starting to chip away at this gap of the Landon Lacey. There's only 9 laps to go. I don't know if they can get there, but they've cut it down here by about 0.3 over the last couple laps.
Yeah, Zachary Taylor would be really smart right now to stay right tucked in to David Duke. Same thing with Tristan Bailey right behind Zachary Taylor. That is going to be the only way that they have a chance at this thing. But every time Zachary Taylor takes a peek on the inside, it just slows them down.
Yeah, the only bad part, too, is Landon Lacey's definitely going to be faster through the corners. Just, wow, that could have been big. That could have been really big there. And, that may have been what I was talking about, Sean. It's so bumpy, and you kind of get lined up, start pushing on the guy, and then things bump. And man, it could be some more bumping here between Zach Taylor and David Duke. I think these guys gave up on running down Landon Lacey. They're going to try to settle second place amongst themselves.
Yeah, Zach Taylor trying to find any way around David Duke possible. Tristan Bailey going up top, trying to possibly sneak away from a position here.
That's where David Duke really wanted to arc it out to the fence there and then go into the corner, but he couldn't because Zach Taylor was looking on the inside. And here comes Tristan Bailey on the outside of Zach Taylor. That's going to hang Zach Taylor out. He may wind up being the 3rd car in line in this group. And right now, if you're Landon Lacey, this is the perfect situation for you.
Yeah, Landon Lacey sitting pretty 3 seconds ahead of everybody. But right now the race is back here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions. David Duke, Zachary Taylor, Tristan Bailey really going at it back here.
I feel like this is around the point in the race where Larry McReynolds is supposed to give us one of those McNuggets and tell us that the caution usually comes in this race with about 5 to go.
See, I was going to say 3, but hey, we'll go 5.
Well, he does percentages. He does like the last 6% of the race or something crazy. I'm just saying, man, I feel like things are brewing here. I don't really know where it's going to be.
I agree with you. I do not think we're done yet.
Or here's another plug for Bronco. Things are mooing and brewing. Isn't that one of the sponsors? Mooing. I can't talk about their sponsors now, man. They got so many of them.
That's Rev Racing, but okay.
Oh, Rev Racing. Sorry.
That's the Moo and Brew car back here. Greg Olenek here in 33rd position in the number 31 Moo and Brew car.
I think I just associated Bronco and wildlife and cows and I don't know. I'll just quit talking about sponsors. Except for Sandwich Man Racing. Check them out on Shopify. They've got some really cool stuff. I'm going to plug them because I like them because, I like diecasts, right? And they got all kinds of cool stuff. And they're trying to make me spend my money, and I don't want to spend my money.
Hey, it's not a bad thing to spend your money on, definitely. But David Duke out front in the Flavor Bomb car. Let's get one of those sponsors in there. So every order of Flavor Bomb on FBBBQ.com, part of that money is going to go towards Sadie, who we ran a charity race for a little bit earlier this season. So charity's all-out fight against leukemia. So definitely go to Flavor Bomb at FBBBQ.com. and order that good seasoning, man. It is absolutely wonderful seasoning, and it will change the way you grill and do that, and that also helps support Sadie in her fight.
We need, as much as David Duke posts in the Discord and all these wonderful barbecues that he has and all this food that he makes, is he coming on the Nashville trip? Because if he coming on the Nashville trip, he's got to bring a grill.
Dude, I got to tell you a secret. David Duke is from Nashville, so we will definitely be hitting up David Duke and Thomas Rutherford as we come to 3 laps to go. Landon Lacey, 3 seconds ahead.
All right, Sean, here's what you said the cost was going to come.
Well, hey, we'll find out.
You know, Sean, y'all got us buying hotels, man. You're telling me David Duke got a house in Nashville? What are we doing buying hotels, man? It's all just go to David Duke's house.
Well, hey, we got enough time. Maybe Thomas Rutherford and David Duke can build something for everybody.
Hey, look, they set it up, man. As long as it's going to be barbecue, I don't care. We'll have a good time. But I tell you, he's having a really good time, and it's not at David Duke's house. It's with David Duke in his rearview mirror, and that's not really, probably can't even see him now. That's Landon Lacey. He is having a blast with 2 to go. Sean, you were wrong once again. I told you the cost was going to come with 2 to go.
And I'm not really seeing, well, I see a little bit of action back here towards the back of the pack, but I'm not really seeing anybody in immediate danger, though.
Has anybody checked on Dean Brummett and his brake pedal?
Let's go back and check on Dean Brummett. He is back here in 21st place with nobody around him, so I think we're going to be safe from the brake pedal affecting this race.
Here we come now. It's going to be Landon Lacey out of turn number 4. He is looking for the white flag. This is that moment where he's just like, let me get the white, please, please, please. Let me get there. And then this big sigh of relief. All you got to do is make it around one more time. So Landon Lacey is well on his way. The battle's going to be back here for second, though, because these guys are going to try to figure this thing out. You hope they can all get it home clean. David Duke having a great run, and it's going to be a good race here for second, I have to imagine.
Yeah, Zachary Taylor on that outside, kind of pinned in right now, but he's going to try to make a move to get out of that spot.
David looking like he thought about throwing the block, not going to do it.
Uh-oh! Tristan Bailey!
No! Taylor saves it.
Taylor wheels it. Landon Lacey's going to win this race. But Tristan Bailey got kind of loose there and then got up into Zachary Taylor, and somehow Zachary Taylor saved that thing.
Tristan Bailey stamped it and sent it, and it didn't work out for him.
You know what?
And Sean, we need one more sponsor plug by me. Butt kicker, because Landon Lacey is the butt kicker tonight. He smoked these guys, Sean.
Yeah, it was class of the field definitely out there. But we're going to go to one more quick rec replay. I want to see what happened back here with Tristan Bailey and Zachary Taylor.
The Sandwich Man rec replay. Check them out on Shopify.
And you're going to see they kind of touched getting into it. Oh, yeah, Tristan Bailey gets a little bit of side there and then comes right back up the track. Watch Zach Taylor. I cannot believe he saved that.
Yeah, we need to go on board with that, Sean. I think what happened there with Tristan Bailey, though, is he thought Zach Taylor was going to enter a little bit wider than he did, and unfortunately for Tristan Bailey, he did not.
Wow!
Look, still in the throttle. Gets it lined out. It's still sideways, and I mean, man, willing it.
What a great move there, but out there on the track, Landon Lacey burning it down, and he earned every single bit of that burnout.
Pretty good burnout. That's a great camera angle right there.
Not too shabby. So great run by him.
Who did the camera, man? Did you doing that? You know I do.
You know.
That looks like something Tripp would do, man. I don't think you're capable of all that. Hey, man, look, putting Filthy 5 in victory lane here in the Xfinity Series. Even though he's an independent, that's his Cup Series team, repping him on the hood. And great night for Landon Lacey. Man, you just shot through the fence, dude.
Man, excellent race for him. And we are going to take a look here at our final results as Landon Lacey brings it down into pit road. So Landon Lacey is going to take home that victory. David Duke, an independent, also in second. Zachary Taylor from Tank Racing is going to extend that lead over the other drivers out here in third. Gregory Joyner in fourth for Bronco Motorsports, and then Ryan Ducombe from H2K Motorsports in fifth.
Yeah, and then sixth, Daniel Bowler. And, man, you feel like if sixth place is a good run for Daniel Bowler, you got to be thinking it could have been so much more. Devin Zimmerman for Tank Racing in seventh, Bo Tiffany in eighth, Michael Pickey in ninth, Michael Amenti in 10th for R2D2. And he had a great recovery, Sean. He got caught up in one of those big messes there off of 4, I do believe.
Yeah, Brad Davis with a great run tonight in his first run for Rev Racing. Corey Saucier, our Truck Series winner, up in 12th. Aaron Gerwitz from Rev Racing in 13th. Daniel Dow from Team SRN led some of this race up in 14th. And then Tyler Markle, one of his first races in the series as an independent, in 15th.
Yeah, Tyler had that great, or I say great, the gutsy pit call and staying out. And Sean, it worked out for him a little better than I thought it would, man. 15th ain't too bad in that deal. And Nathaniel Mon for Bronco in 16th. Rhett Tucker also for Bronco in 17th. Joshua Siegfried in 18th. Jordan Saylor, my buddy, my teammate, in 19th. And Dean Brake Pedal Brummett in 20th. Two independents there rounding out our top 20. But Bronco had another good night, it looks like. The Independents had a great night, man. If they were on a team, they just scored a ton of points.
Well, man, let's see if we can't get Zach Taylor up here in the booth. And, man, what I really want to know from Zach Taylor, and, hey, Zach, Sean, and Justin up in the booth, buddy, what I really want to know, man, that last lap you got sideways, how the heck did you save that thing?
The shades of Dale Earnhardt. You know, that's the nickname I've kind of adapted over at Tank, so I'm just going to say that one. No, it was just throttle control. The throttle control, you know, gas and brake at the same time will straighten that thing back up in a hurry.
Yeah, pretty good run, man. You hung around the front all night, Zach. You weren't quite able to get out to the lead, and you got to wonder if you were able to. Do you think the clean air would have given you a better opportunity to win this thing?
I definitely think if I got out front that there was no, you know, get me back. And I think that's the main reason that David Duke, you know, it was a great race with him all night. Off pit road, that's kind of where I screwed myself. I just didn't get up behind him like I should have. I wanted to race him off pit road and forgot there was grass down there, so I went for a little grass ride. But I think that was the ultimate turning point of the race right there.
Well, man, really a great run for you, always kind of being up towards the front. And, of course, you've got the points lead right now. It's started to kind of thin out from the first couple of races a little bit, but what do you see going forward, especially as we go to Las Vegas?
You know, there's a lot of mile and a halves. I just want to try to keep a top 3 streak going here. I've been a part of the post-race interviews every race this season, so if we can keep doing that, then I'll be real happy. But I don't see me winning. I may win 1 or 2 more, but I don't see me winning any more than that in the future races here.
Well, man, a great run tonight. Congratulations on a third place. We'll catch up to you here at Las Vegas, but is there anybody you'd like to thank before we get you back down to your team?
Yeah, for sure. All the guys over at Tank Racing, you know, Zim, Lepicki, Emerson, and Derek over there, all the truck guys. We've really got a strong team here, and look out towards the end of the season for that team championship to kind of turn into a runaway here.
All right, buddy. Well, have a great night, and we will see you next week, Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Thank y'all.
All right, let's see if we can't get the captain, David Duke himself. And, of course, he's in charge of 3 of these teams, and he showed them how to wheel it here tonight. David Duke, Sean, and Justin up in the booth, buddy. How's it going?
Pretty good, gentlemen. How are y'all this evening?
Man, we're good. Great race for you, showing your teams how to do it here. And so we were talking earlier in the broadcast how kind of the 3 teams that you're in charge of in this league are kind of down the list, and maybe you were here tonight to show them how it was done.
Man, we just had a mixed bag of bad luck. Justin can account to that. Just everything that has gone wrong or could go wrong has gone wrong, and it's nice to put it on the podium this evening. I drove 700 miles today from Indianapolis down here to Virginia Beach, and now I just drove another 150 virtually. So I'm closing in on 1,000 miles for today.
Well, hey, man, look, so we obviously know that wasn't you driving that car, so let me know whoever signed into your account to run that race for you. I'll get him to run mine on Sunday nights. Hey, man, look, it was a great race for you, David. What if you got in a caution, were you hoping for a caution, and if you could have gotten a stab at Landon Lacey, you think you had anything for him there?
I don't think I did. Once I realized once he'd gotten too far out there, I did start gaining in like a 10th here or there, right there at the last couple laps. But I was driving the last 7 to 10 laps out of my mirror more so than I was out of the windshield. The 14, I could stymie his runs just enough to keep him held back without, being too aggressive blocking. I was just kind of running the line that I knew he wanted to run, and wound up. I didn't think I was going to hold him off. I told my guys there with about 8 to go, I was like, "There's no way I'm going to hold the 14 off," and I did. It was a good race though. 25th to second. It's not a bad afternoon.
Yeah, man, it was a good run for you. Hey, just give you a heads up too while we got you. So our Nashville trip, everybody changed their plans. We're all staying at your house, and you got a barbecue, a whole bunch of stuff with flavor bomb all over it. Cool. All right, 10-4, man. Good interview. Good run. It's good to see you out there having a good run, man, because it's been a while since I got to see that. So, good run, buddy.
Hey, David, is there anybody that you'd like to thank before we drop you back down there with your team?
All right, David just left. I ran him off.
Wow, you did. You ran him off so quickly on that one. We're going to have to solidify our plans with him a little bit later, it sounds like. I'm trying to look out there to see if Landon Lacey is out there. He is out there. So let's see if we can grab our winner, Landon Lacey. Hey, Landon, this is Sean and Justin up in the booth, buddy. How's it going?
It's going good, sir.
Man, I bet it is. What a great win for you. A 3-second victory, which is just not common. What was so different between what you had going on and what everybody else did behind you?
I think I got a little lucky there on that last restart. I think it was 1 or 2 guys stayed out on tires, and I was able just to, get a good restart on the outside, get around whoever restarted in front, and just pull away. And I think once I got everybody out of my draft, I just started saving tires. And then that last pit stop, everybody behind me said they were pitting, so I thought about staying out an extra lap, but what I was worried about is that if with them on fresher tires, they were going to be faster, and they would be back in my draft, and I didn't want that. So I made sure it kind of caught me off guard that they were pitting, so I had to, really quickly decide if I was going to pit or not. But, had a really good pit stop, came out with a bigger lead than what I had, and there at the end, I was just, trying to do all I could just to manage the gap.
Hey, look, man, it was a great run for you. Obviously, you got the win. You come down from the Cup Series to come steal one from the little guys, so I hope you feel good about yourself. Hey, man, look, seriously, how do you carry this over to Sunday night? I mean, obviously, the cars are way different. They drive way different and pretty much completely different package. But you think you can carry anything over to Sunday night and try to get you a weekend sweep?
I think we can. We looking back at it at Homestead last Sunday, we should have won that race if it didn't come down to fuel mileage. But, Jake Royal and those guys did a good job saving fuel, which hurt us there. And I'm not good with fuel strategy. So as long as it doesn't come down to that, I think we have a really good chance.
Well, man, out there in the chat right now, you got Timothy Latham, you got Brandon Browning, a couple of your teammates from up there in the Cup Series out there saying that you were just plain filthy. So I gotta ask one thing that Brandon's asking right now: how filthy are you?
Apparently filthy enough to win by 3 seconds. I mean, but
that was spoken like Timothy Latham. Let me tell you. That sounds like straight out of the Timothy Latham playbook right
He's
there.
He's been rubbing off on me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but no.
Oh, you need to turn around and run right now.
But no, everybody I've raced with in this league is these are some of the best guys that you'll find on iRacing. To come out here and we win by 3 seconds is no easy feat at all. Again, looking forward to Sunday. I hope we can carry this momentum into the Cup Series.
Well, man, congratulations on a great race out there. Is there any sponsors or anything you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Thank you to Filthy 5 Motorsports, Timothy Latham, Brandon Browning, Kyle Spees, and everybody over there. Thank you to Raise Energy, some of the league sponsors, Flavor Bomb, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Butt Kicker, and pretty much everybody who puts us on. Speed Racing Network, the broadcast team, you guys do a great job every week. So thank you to everybody who puts all this together.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again, and we will see you on Sunday night right back here at Auto Club Speedway, where you try to make it a weekend sweep.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, have a great night.
You too.
All right, Justin, great race out there, man. We've got another great race coming up that we'll talk about really, really fast. Once again, the Revved Up for the Cause for St. Jude tomorrow night, February 26th. If you're not racing in it, don't miss this race here on Speed Racing Network.
Yeah, definitely tune into that. It'll be it's at Daytona, am I right?
You're correct, Daytona.
So anytime you go to a plate race, it's really fun. So definitely tune into that if you're not racing in it. Like I said, I'll definitely try to. Going to be an awesome race, great cause, and look forward to Speed Racing Network. Any content they put out, so we put out. I'm a part of Speed Racing.
Yeah,
Network.
You're one of us now. You're one of us.
Yeah,
but,
that made no sense.
But hey, next week the Xfinity cars are going to Las Vegas for the Sparkle and Shine Sin City 150 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and you know that track really, really well. What do you see happening from this league that you've got, that we saw tonight? What do you see on the mile and a half?
Well, Vegas is a ton of fun. I think it's the best driving mile and a half we go to. Oftentimes people will see the mile and a half, they call them cookie cutter tracks. They're all the same. They're not all the same. Las Vegas is probably the best driving one. The banking is perfect. The radius of the turns is just perfect. And it's just a good track, man. You can really dice it up and have a good time and really maneuver the car where you want it to go. So that's going to be a ton of fun in the Xfinity cars. I think these guys are going to be slipping and sliding all over the place, probably on corner exit, probably really trying to push up the track on corner entry. And so it's just going to make for some great racing, a lot of passing. And so that'll be really exciting to watch in those guys, the Xfinity cars and these guys that we saw tonight.
Yeah, and then tomorrow night, or I'm sorry, not tomorrow night, Sunday night, we're right back here at Auto Club Speedway with the Cup cars. And Justin, I think you're racing in that, aren't you?
I am not. This is my night shift weekend, man. So, it's funny. I talked about it. I never get to race the league races at Auto Club. I've never made one. In any league I've ever been in, I always work. But look, man, I'll be tuning in like always. And this package that we run in the Cup cars is the best package for this track. From Michigan, these big, just a lot of speed, wide turns, big drafts, big runs. Man, this is going to be a blast. I'm telling you, if you're not planning on watching it Sunday night, you need to change your plans because this is going to be a great race. It's going to be, you thought we saw some good 2, 3, 4 wide racing tonight. You wait till you get your good restart in those Cup cars, man. You'll see, seriously, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 wide when they get down the backstretch. The runs are just massive, and you have to take it somewhere. So it's going to be an awesome race. I can't wait to watch it. Super upset I can't race it, but it's going to be a fun one to watch anyways.
Well, definitely come on back and watch that on Sunday night. Everybody else out there, thank you so much for watching tonight. Again, my name is Sean Griffith with Justin Boyles, and always remember to go faster.